he just didn't. He wasn't up to the task this year, and that was very surprising that he failed to this level.
Yeah. B-Souls, who are you wrong about this year, or who proved you wrong?
Who proved me wrong?
Good or bad?
Good or bad? I mean, Derek White is definitely a good answer.
Yeah. Did you have faith in Derek White All-Star season?
I had faith. I did. I was not expecting 39% from the field.
Yeah.
And I am still a firm believer. We just get one average, even regular season average Derek White series. We may have won against the Sixers. I'm not going to lie. That's how bad he was. Sticking to my team, though, Jaylen Brown did prove me wrong. I'm not going to lie. In a good way. I personally was not a believer in first option Jaylen Brown hoops. Hey, man. You know, we blew a 3-1 lead, but in the regular season, he was cooking. You know what I'm saying? Was it MVP caliber? I would say no. Was it first team All-NBA caliber? Arguably. But yeah, I did like what I saw from Jaylen Brown as a first option in a good way.
Yeah. I had faith he'd be a good scorer. I didn't have faith the team would be good with that. So all year I've attributed that more to Joe Mazzulla and him just like really, really harnessing Jaylen Brown's strengths and building a new offense around that. Yeah. But yeah, I suppose on some regard you do have to give some credit to Jaylen Brown, who he got the buckets.
Yeah, in an efficient way and manner too, which is like impressive in that regard. So I can understand that. For me, the next player who surprised me and proved me wrong in a positive way this time, definitely Scottie Barnes. Now, I never really was a Scottie Barnes hater per se at all, but I never really acknowledged him nor gave him the flowers that he deserves for the type of player that he is. And the only time where I really sit down and look at him is when he's in comparison to my guy Jalen Johnson. I remember some episode I sat here and I was like, yeah, Jalen Johnson's a better rebounder, playmaker, finisher, yada 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 than Scottie Barnes and all that. And after seeing how these two performed in the playoffs, it's so jarringly different. And seeing how Jalen Johnson was just more so a downer, and you can see his offense just waning away versus someone like Scottie Barnes who's fighting in a 7-game series, screaming, yelling, playing ferocious defense, getting to the line 7 times a game, being absurdly physical and all that. If I firmly believe that Scottie Barnes next year is gonna be a top 15 player, that's one of my early bets that I have to cash in. And he's also, sadly, if he's not, sadly I believe it's simply because of the situation that he's in right now and how piss poor of a job that this team has done building around him, missing continuously, giving all these guys absurd amounts of money Brandon Ingram and Jakob Poeltl and all that. I think he's Scottie Barnes is a fantastic player. He's top 15 talent next year, in my opinion.
It's a goddamn shame that Scottie Barnes got drafted to a team that failed the roster construction like that.
If you put him on the Hawks, they're going at least I don't know if they're beating the Knicks necessarily.
Instead of Jalen Johnson?
Yeah, instead of Jalen Johnson, the team looks
I don't want
so
that
different.
either. I don't want that either though. I want him in J-Dub shoes. I want him in Julius Randle shoes. I want him to literally be Scottie Pippen. If he could play with a bucket hitter like that and be the best second option in the league in terms of not second option isn't the right phrasing because that implies offensive slanted, but the best sidekick star in the league, he could be generational as a defensive secondary star that it just brings a dog to the team. He could be incredible in that role. If he could be Luka's sidekick, Shea's sidekick, Anthony Edwards' sidekick, any of those things, that could be a Hall of Famer sidekick.
Man, I just wanted him to be in the regular team at this point, bro. Because what they're doing is...
that's what the Raptors are.
They are a regular team.
They're a team.
They're a team. Are they a great, a good team or as good as they should be?
If he could be someone's Draymond, that's how you win championships. Is getting a player like Scottie Barnes next to the stars. They have J-Dub for that role next to Shea.
True.
Scottie Barnes is built for that, to win rings in that role.
I need to see him trade in a couple years to Detroit. That'll be amazing.
Get him next to Jokic.
That's unfair.
No, he's not going anywhere. So we're gonna if we get Scottie Barnes leaves, he's gonna be when he's 28 or something. So it's not gonna happen unless somehow the Raptors get a superstar again. Which who knows if that's on the horizon. So we may never see this. He may be actually no, we will see it when he's older. So I guess eventually we'll get there. That's how this goes typically. These players that are good players that can be your franchise, but you're not going to win a championship necessarily. They end up going through the course of their career, wasting their prime years. They turn 29 and they go play with a superstar. Now we see, he should have always done this. Yeah. It's so clear the path he's on.
Yeah, I agree. But he's special, man. Not even he's so good right now. I think in that Cleveland series, he averaged 23, 24. 3-point shot was in, but at this point in time, everyone just pretty much accepted he is who he is when it comes to that. But outside of the 3-point shot, he's fantastic from pretty
I guess we had to say Chet proved us wrong by being absolutely horrible in the playoffs. And in some regard, it's Wemby thing. So he was very good in the first 2 rounds. I'll say the part of Chet that I was wrong about, or that right now he needs to improve on to become the best version of himself, is the offense. I don't care at all that defensively, like, he gets dunked on by Wemby. It's Wemby, right? I don't care at all that he can drive on Wemby. It's Wemby. Him being a fake stretch big is the part that we're wrong about, is the shooting hasn't materialized. The idea of Chet and, like, the best version of him being this, like, perfect complementary star is because offensively and defensively, he has the skill set to thrive and make every star around him better. Now, defensively, he still is that. He still is the second best drop defender in the NBA. He still is top 3 defensive player in the NBA, undoubtedly. I have no issue there. Offensively, right now, especially against great teams, which, putting aside the Wemby stuff, because you can't even, like, you can't judge it. You can't judge him on his worst day against Victor Wembanyama. As far as taking away actual takeaways about his skill sets, he's not a good shooter right now in a way that is impactful. His jumper is too slow. He can shoot when he's open. He can stretch the floor a little bit, but especially if he's playing power forward, he needs to be a, like, deadly shooter or pick and pop. He can be dynamic. He doesn't gotta be cat necessarily, but needs to be closer to that than what he is now.
Yeah.
And without that, without him being a true stretch big, he's pretty much just, like, good enough on offense while being generational defensively, which is still a great player. But to be the best version of him and to get talked about the way I've talked about him, needs to be way more of a shooting threat.
I don't think he's ever been that though. Like going back from
He hasn't
when
been.
he was
That's
in
a
high
problem.
school.
That's a problem. He
and-
hasn't been.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us just like probably were a little bit ahead and didn't really see. I think first and foremost, Wemby is the world. Like he's a real issue here.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Chet for real. I mean, yes, like we are all right. Like his 3-point shot is slower, and when it comes to a lot of his offensive skills in general, it has been like a little bit overrated. The handle is there, but it's not like some outlier, insane skill set or advantage that he uses on a play-by-play basis at all. No, that's not it at all. And I think that when it comes to 3-point shot, yeah, it needs to be faster and all that. But realistically speaking, is that something that we typically see or it can happen? I don't know.
I don't know either, but you're right. It hasn't happened
You can
yet.
speed it up. You can speed the jump up
It
a
used to be
little.
faster. It's slower now post injury. And as a
Mhm.
rookie, he got it off quicker. And yeah, the problem is you're right. We haven't seen him be that yet, and that's because the way you've talked about him has been on development. And like he's been so young the whole time, right? He's just now entering a point where I think he's kind of who he is. For the first few years, he was at this high level of high leverage games, but so young still that we had to talk about him through the framework of like he's just getting started. The development's going to be here. The offensive stuff just hasn't developed. Now, I think as a rim finisher, he's developed, especially after last year when he couldn't jump at all. He had a pretty good year this year as a roll man. He plays next to another 5, so the roll man opportunities are few and far between. That's not his fault. That's a team construction fault. They happen to have one of their other best players as a 5, and they got to make it work. He clearly could be a more effective offensive player if he was a center in terms of scoring, driving to the rim more. And if you had guards who could pass it all at the rim, Shea can't throw a lob to save his life. So, like, if he was playing with Trae Young, sure, he'd score more at the rim and he'd get more of a higher reputation. But the part of what's supposed to make him valuable is that ideally by now the jump shooting had developed more, so he can play the 4,
Yeah.
can give you pick and pop stuff, and it just hasn't been the case. The development completely stagnated.
I'm interested this offseason at that development because it's going to be a healthy offseason. You're not going to be you played into the end of May, so yes, you did still have like a long playoff run, but you don't have to extend yourself that extra 2 weeks of playing it in the finals. Your hip isn't, broken this off season, so you actually have a full off season to work on your game and not necessarily like trying to get your body back to this point. You always see on Twitter like people will post clips of players like 4 years ago. It's like, what happened to this guy? I've already seen that starting with Chet, where it's like he was moving so different a couple years ago, and it's like, yeah, he's been through a couple injuries since then.
Breaking your hip is insane.
Yeah,
That's
so
one of the worst injuries you can think of for a professional athlete.
Especially basketball. It's a very
Yeah.
hip-oriented sport.
Yeah.
very.
It's tough, especially as a big man that your whole sell and appeal is mobility.
Yeah.
Your hips fucking matter.
They do. So hopefully he can get that stuff together. The only like you will have to see Wemby obviously again. So hopefully the next time that happens, like we can have a different outcome. But I think you would feel much better about it if you went into that matchup next time with something else in your tool bag,
Yep.
as opposed to just saying like, all right, I'm gonna get him again this time. Like, okay, what's actually different then?
Yep, and
You
I know
know.
what it needs to be. It needs to be being a real stretch big, being able to actually shoot and give some of the things that Cat brings. He'll never have the driving of Cat. He'll never be able to get to the rim against Wemby. Almost no big will be able to do that unless you're 50 pounds heavier than Chet.
Yeah.
Like you're just Chet will never a day in his life be an effective driver of the basketball against Victor Wembanyama. So stretch that motherfucking floor.
Yeah.
Have to do it.
He also got to develop like anger problems too, bruh. Like he can't just get pounded like that in the last few games of the series, bruh. Like leaving the series with 4 points in game 7. That's ridiculous. That's disgusting. He need to put him through some trauma, man.
It
Oh,
is-
he just got it.
yeah, the series.
He's got a whole summer full of everybody saying he's mentally dwarfed. Nobody's ever gonna believe him again.
My next player, Kawhi Leonard, proved me wrong.
He's on my list as well.
I never thought that we were going to get this version of Kawhi again. And for him to come out, for him to play 65 games, for him to average basically 28, for him to be as efficient as he was, still and still be able to give like the top end of superstar performances where you can score 40 and carry your team to win. Before Garland got there, and you are playing with really nobody. Like it's like not a lot of stuff is going on, and you're able to go out and still win games. So shout out to Kawhi, because the last year he played 37 games, averaged 21 points. Year before that, 68 games for only 23.7 points. Like it's the last time he averaged this much, it never happened.
The Rockets.
Yeah.
Quick break. The Rockets' jersey rebrand just came out.
Oh.
I sent them in the group chat. B Souls.
New Jersey, okay.
New Jersey to look at.
The Rockets, okay.
People are loving them. I don't know if I love them honestly.
Yeah,
Did they need one?
Yes.
a little bit.
Yes. They went back to the yellow and red, which I think we've known they're going to do for a while. And this leaked a little bit ago, so we've known the font stuff they're going to. I don't love it, personally.
Yellow and red.
Yeah, they're back to that look. Yeah, pulled
Okay,
it up.
that's
I got
that's interesting.
Okay.
Listen, it's New Jersey for New Eric.
This one's kind of hard to see. Pull the other one.
They're getting rid of. Oh no, KD's in it. Damn.
You're right. I don't want him out of here. Fuck.
There. All right. Well, I guess KD's here to stay.
Those look kind of interesting. They look like McDonald's jerseys. I'm not gonna lie.
Very McDonald's.
Anytime,
First one.
if you get yellow and red, that's gonna be the first thought on your mind.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the font. I don't know if I love the font.
The font on the
necessarily.
white one looks a little off.
It's not bad, but I don't love it.
Okay.
Got some texture to it with the lines.
Okay.
How do you feel?
It's cool. I kind of like it.
It
It's not
can-
bad.
This is not terrible.
The font isn't that
Certainly
big.
not terrible.
It's pretty clean. It's somewhat Atlanta Hawks-ish.
Yeah, it's a little collegey to me.
I don't like it like that. I don't like this black one at
Oh,
all.
I don't like the
Little
sleeves
overtime
on the
elite.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might not be the best one. It's interesting that they went with this one because they've been messing around with the City Edition and like the Space Astronaut and the Baby Blue, which a lot of Houston teams have been going to and using it because they've been low key fighting this war with the Titans, over that color.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they didn't go back to that.
It is giving McDonald's. Is that
Yeah.
a bad thing though? I don't know.
I know you as a big McDonald's guy. It's a pro McDonald's podcast.
Yeah,
For sure.
big art guy.
Yeah,
Maybe a little.
McDonald's All American jerseys.
McDonald's got to be the partner for this guy. Also, if they're gonna do this,
Yeah,
Lean
so was I
into
saying
it
it's
for
a
me.
memorial something on the top?
I don't know what the hell it is.
Memorial Herman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you guys feel about the pinstripes?
it's fine. I don't got a problem with it. It's a cool little way. I like how they fade behind the numbers, so it's clean and easy to see. Easy to see the text. The fonts just don't do it for me. The fonts look very
Too childish. It should be like
Minimalist slop?
sharper.
a little minimalist, I guess, and a little like too modern. It's just not a very satisfying font to me.
All of the letters being in caps outside of the T, that is bothering.
What the? I didn't even call that out. It's a great call out. It's disgusting.
Dude, that's funny.
The hell?
I don't have a huge problem with that, but it's a strange detail.
They
Like
gotta
the
fix that.
2-6. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that 2010s era of like the 2010s like Hornets jerseys where they had these very like sleek, different type of fonts that are supposed to be like modern.
Mhm.
And we've moved past that. Everybody does a more like traditional blocky thing now.
I am kind of okay though, because sometimes the blocky numbers are just like, I wish we could do a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the attempt here. I think the color scheme might be my biggest issue.
I'm kind of okay with that. Going back to that traditional color scheme, it's different. That kind of brings a new era. I'm fine with adding the yellow in general. Just don't love it. I guess it is minimal slop. I think it does look too minimal. Now that you're saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. The black jersey, the sleeve on the black jersey, I don't like. I kind of wish either let's just keep the sleeve black or let's go all the way around.
Tari looks clean in the red.
Yeah.
The red looks good. Maybe this is just a Tari over Sengun Aura thing, but the Tari one looks good.
They put all the players I want traded in these jerseys.
Yeah.
They're staying here. They're gonna run it back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like the black one.
The black one is
Oh,
disgusting.
it's the red collar on the black. The red collar makes it look very
Very
like
loose.
lower level,
Yeah.
like a Maryland jersey or something.
Yeah, no, this is bad.
And the Jumpman too. Jumpman also makes it look like college.
Yeah, this is bad, man. This is not good.
That
Looks
tee's
like a
bothering
football
me.
jersey for sure.
The tee's bothering you.
Yeah, it's bothering me like crazy now.
I think the red is good. The red looks like Moses Malone era. Like that does a good job of harkening back to a past era. I like the red a lot. I'd say
You
Yeah,
like
it's
the
cool.
you like the half panel on the side
half
Oh.
panel on the side.
on the white.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not super opinionated about stuff like that. I like the red with the yellow collar. That works for me. White is fine. Black, don't wear it.
That
They-
jersey.
They're
that,
gonna end up loving the black jersey.
I don't
Probably.
know. That black jersey got to be bulletproof, bro. It just looks like it comes with
Kevlar?
extra.
Looks like Kevlar.
Facts.
The black one, it's about to go crazy.
You know what it is too? It's the red text with no
Uh-huh.
white stroke on it.
Yeah.
And that's the all the text has no strokes on it. It's just one solid. That's why it looks minimal. Because a lot of text has strokes on the outside. Like the Knicks have like the 3 colors.
Yeah.
This is just one flat text. That makes it look like minimal.
Also,
slop.
maybe like the jersey on a men's chest, like the Houston on it, should also be, or the number 1 should also be red too. But that throws it off.
I'd rather both be white or like white. around
Same
the red.
color. I need same color.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah, yellow, red, and white.
There's
It's
a
a
lot
lot
going
going
on.
on.
That's what makes it look talks
Yeah.
or Maryland.
Twin.
Okay, C minus jersey rebrand. It sucks when you feel like it's all right. When is this
Yeah.
gonna be here for 5 years?
Mhm.
It's like okay,
It's cool.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think Houston fans will probably love it though. So good for them.
They,
It'll feel different enough that I know the Houston fans hated the jersey they had right now for the past couple of years. So it's different enough. They're probably satisfied.
Ew, man. That's crazy. Okay.
All right, so that was random little Rockets jersey reaction. Yeah, you mentioned Kawhi at the end. I agree. I also like Kawhi just for the body stuff and everything we've seen. Didn't expect to see another year of top 5 player Kawhi.
I agree. I agree.
You have anybody else? Will?
Real quick, 2 seconds. I was wrong about Stephon Castle and how cool he is. Immediately the next game, I think I don't remember what game it was. It was against OKC. I don't remember which game within the
it was
series
game one.
Was it game
It
one?
was going into game one. He had that done.
Yeah, exactly. That dunk where he hung off of it, and immediately I got like 30 tags on Twitter. Ain't cool. This ain't cool. This ain't cool. Ain't cool. So there's that. But another serious one, along similar lines of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George is usable, and he's like not necessarily playing up to his contract because that's ridiculous. But when it comes to being a solid, good, above average 3-and-D role player who can get your shot off and create not as well as he used to. Obviously, the separation is just like not there anymore. But being another option on the court, who can give you certain advantages, has all that size and length, and still be like great defensively too. Now, of course, like what happened against the Knicks, was the Knicks. But throughout the entire playoff run, he was one of the best players on that roster. And I think going into next year, you feel really good about him. So I was wrong about him. Don't be wrong. I thought it was just a wash product.
Like a wash product. Yeah, I can't remember whether. Do we even talk about Paul George that much
He
coming
got
into the season?
suspended, so like no one really
Yeah,
talked about
I
it
think
at
we
all.
kind of overlooked him coming this season. We were just like, yeah, I guess he's cooked. We not even gonna talk about him a lot. It is what it is. But no, we were talking about him as like potentially end up being one of the worst contracts in the league. So
Yeah.
shout out Paul George. He
I mean,
recovered from that.
it still probably is like
For now, he recovered from it.
it's probably
bad.
still a top 5.
I guess you could throw Joel Embiid in there a little bit too. He gave a surprisingly productive year. And no, injuries happen still. He didn't play a ton of games, but actually, you know what? That's probably exactly what you should have expected. It's not a lot of games, but he looked pretty good because he's talented when he's there. Never mind.
And he's number 1. He's the worst contract in the league.
I don't know if I would say that.
He's got multiple years left.
Embiid? Yes, Embiid is the worst contract in the league.
I guess that's fair, but when I think about like worst contract, I think about like, oh, like you absolutely shouldn't have given this money because you never met that standard or lived up to it at all.
Speaking of that, Christian Watson has got like $20 million a year extension for 4 years.
Shout out to him. Back
Wow.
get him.
So $110 million for Christian Watson.
Wow.
Good for him.
Facts.
Good for him. Good for him.
Fuck, man. That's a lot.
Well, that sounds like that's all the players that proved us wrong this year. Wasn't a year with a ton of change.
Shout
So-
out to MPJ and MPJ quick. Just because he played very well, especially in the first half
Yeah.
of the year.
for 3 months, proved us hella wrong.
Yeah, and so, but I think he showed that he's not just like a pure Jokic merchant. That he actually can still be a very productive offensive player. And obviously, the Nets, they're tanking and doing all these things. But if somebody else wanted to go and save MPJ from Brooklyn, he can go to another contender and still be a like competent player and still be very additive to whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Who else can we lightning round throw in here real quick?
Jalen Duren along the lines of Chet.
No.
No?
Nah. Julian Champagnie, I didn't think he was going to be this like valuable when it comes to outside of 3-point shooting, his rebounding. Now, naturally, of course, he's going to be the weakest defender when you have Wemby, Stephon Castle, and all that playing with you, and you're going to get picked on. But him like flying around and just like causing havoc in the paint, getting his hands on rebounds, shit like that, uber important and valuable, and he can play in the series as like the smallest power forward in history.
Shout out Keontae George, averaging over 20. Guess I didn't see that coming.
No shout out to Mobley.
No.
I guess Mobley proved us wrong. Didn't make a top 10 type of leap.
Yeah, I wrote down Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Ass.
Though I don't know. Like pretty early on, we were like, okay, so he still just have Mobley, and we got to calm down. So yeah, I guess coming out of last year, there was a lot of hope he'd make that next leap. It
Yeah.
died so fast to me early in the season that I don't even like think about it anymore.
Mhm.
But yeah, at some point, it looked like he was primed to become one of the 10 best players in the world. I'm certain now that he'll never be a top 10 player.
Yep.
No, I think he'll always be a top 25 player, really good, but certain he will never have the offensive bat to be top 10.
Were you surprised, good or bad, from DeAndre Ayton?
No.
No.
I wasn't surprised. It was the exact mixed bag that was probably expected, right?
Literal roller coaster.
We saw the really good start, the terrible December where he has identity crisis, good finish, and then not good finish. It was as up and down as expected, probably.
Yeah. I guess I do have to pay respects and be like, yo, CJ McCollum, shout out to you. Because you were literally an afterthought in the Trae Young trade. No one really thought of you as like a pivotal piece for our team, not necessarily going forward, but at least for this moment right now, being the lone advantage creator. And he was needed for us to like truly develop and extend the Knicks series and get us like good reps to actually be somewhat productive, you know. So that was good. Again, your two only losses came to the hands of CJ McCollum. That's great. Mad.
Yeah, whatever. CJ's fine. He's okay.
He not necessarily saved his career, but he made himself a little bit more money and extended his career. So
He might have
Probably.
saved his career. He didn't do jack shit with the Wizards. Like, that was such a lost era that like
they hated him.
that could have
Because
spiraled.
he was playing bad basketball.
yeah,
That could have spiraled into him being gone pretty soon.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
He did 100% save his career.
Yeah.
Who else proved us wrong?
Steady.
Lightning round worth mention. LaMelo Ball played pretty concentrated, good scaled down basketball, but we all knew he could do that. It was like, show me you can do that and stop taking a million shots a game because the team around you sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a good job there. I think that's about it.
AJ Mitchell went from a player that we were like, oh my God, he's on the court, no,
Yeah.
to a very like integral part of what the Thunder do. So
Yeah. But
that's-
did
that-
you think AJ Mitchell sucked though?
I mean, me yelling, oh no, like
Well, that's more about him just not playing beforehand.
you know,
He
so
was solid last year too. He just didn't
there's-
play for 2 months. Why is he on the court in the finals?
Yeah, there's that aspect of it, but everything else, yeah, I don't think anybody else really surprised me like that.
I thought Bam was gonna be better.
Don't get caught up into Miami Heat mediocrity, thinking that they're gonna be better than what they are right now.
Nah, man.
Oh, Denny became an all-star, but none of us hated Denny. So maybe, yeah, we're just naming surprises that weren't us being wrong about. So that means the segment is over, and that is everybody we were wrong about this year. I'm sure you guys remember players that we hated on from your team that we're just forgetting now. So feel free to let us know if there's other players that we hated on that surprisingly came out and did well.
Let us know.
And with that being said, it's time for Producer Corner.
Yes,
Souls,
yes,
what are
yes.
we doing today?
Today we are gonna play a game of Price is Right.
Oh,
Got a bunch of different items over here. And
Okay.
we're gonna try to see who can guess to the closest amount.
Okay.
The right amount. All right, first one.
It's like when they ask politicians how much does a carton of eggs cost. And then they're all out of touch.
That's funny as hell.
Cheapest
They're
tickets
like
to
$2.
Game 3.
Ooh.
Game 3. Oh, in New York.
Yeah, this is per seat. With that.
Okay.
It was like 600 for San Antonio.
Yes. New York. I'm gonna say
2,100.
I'm gonna say 3,300.
Shit.
Yeah.
3,301.
Nice.
Come on. You're shameless.
Yeah, this is per seat geek.
Yep.
It is 8.3K.
Jeez. Oh my god.
The worst nosebleeds
No
cost
way.
that?
No
Yeah.
They
way.
spiked up because I checked yesterday and they
this
were like
morning.
37 for the cheapest.
Is it because
ones.
they want people are like on top of the
Maybe.
moon now?
Yeah, that's an investment. Right there, I ain't gonna lie.
That's a bad investment right there.
I got you. I got you with the strategy.
Oh my god. $8,000.
You wasn't watching daytime television.
All right, next. Average gas price in 05.
05?
05.
05.
I
I'm
was,
just,
I
6 years old.
yeah.
I was tapped into the oil markets. I'll say $1.47.
This is the peak of the Iraq War, buddy.
I'm guessing 20 years ago.
240.
Say $1.12.
I think Isaac's actually the closest. It is 234 a
Yeah.
gallon.
Makes sense, yeah.
Nah, he went over.
What the fuck does that mean?
That's not how you play Price is Right.
Oh, I'm an
This
absolute
guy.
value guy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if price is right, so you can't go over?
No,
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This Price is Right B-Souls edition.
Yeah, well, I was damn near exactly right, so I win.
Alright, next.
not playing.
I've never seen the show.
A Supreme
Bro,
Brick.
you never watched like one episode?
I've never seen a single episode.
I've watched like maybe 7 to like 10 minutes of whenever like the whole entire thing.
I was going to say 7 to 10 episodes.
Nah.
Alright.
Is this retail or resale?
Resale. This
Resale
is
price.
StockX. You can buy it now. for
Okay, so you looked like today?
Yes, today.
Oh, okay, this is not what it once was. I'll say it's actually probably kind of affordable now because nobody gives a fuck anymore. 120.
120 for some. I'm gonna say $400.
Okay.
There's still be lines out the ass at Supreme.
320.
Nah, it's not gonna be 400. No way. Oh, actually, it's pretty old. They don't make more of them anymore, so maybe.
Yeah.
Now it's vintage.
Yeah,
Vintage
vintage.
brick.
Yeah.
All right, this is 310.
Okay,
Out of who's the
310.
closest.
Okay.
Okay. Next,
So wait, didn't Donovan say 300?
he said 320.
You win.
Mm.
See? Works in your
Damn, I'm
favor.
hopeful.
These Souls rules. Next, changing your name in Illinois.
I didn't know. So
You
what's
gotta
the cost?
pay a
Just
lot for that?
like administrative costs? They got to do paperwork.
Yeah, there's like a filing fee or whatever.
70.
how?
$175. Public a passport.
Lexi just I don't even know how much it costs. I'm gonna say 65.
$65.
175. That's what it costs to get a passport.
No,
I'm gonna say, let's say 200.
200. It is in Illinois, $300.
Oh damn!
Yeah, it's much more expensive here compared to other states.
Wow.
Wonder why that
It
is.
does change per state. Some of them were like 75, 60. In Illinois, it's 300.
Don't you
You
dare get married in Illinois.
no.
We don't want that shit.
Good God.
Your
That's
name,
crazy.
buddy.
Keep it
All right, next. Average U.S. wedding.
average. What do you think? Is there a lot of crazy weddings that make the average high? You think?
I
No, I don't
just
think so.
read in 2020. I think it's like 38,000 right now.
55,000.
It might have risen up because that was like 7 years ago. I think when that got published.
55,000.
We'll say 40K.
40K. Donovan is the closest. It is 36K,
Ah,
which is crazy.
you literally read the book on average U.S.
I
weddings.
know. It's crazy.
No, you got it right.
Bro, the wedding industry is insane, man.
Yeah,
The things you can charge because it's someone's big day.
I can't imagine doing that. Honestly,
Dude, for the most simplest shit.
I would never have a big wedding. That shit is so crazy to me.
Bro, like if you go to like caterers and stuff,
Yeah.
you can actually like get in trouble if you don't tell them that it's your wedding because people have different prices based on like if
Yeah.
it's just like a regular like gathering or if it's like a.
What do you mean
wedding.
get in trouble? They think citizens arrest me?
They're like, yeah, they can like
Yeah.
like some
Citizens
venues,
arrest.
like some venues
Yeah.
or some caterers, like they can send you the invoice on the back and be like, nah, like you like misled me, like it was actually supposed to be charged this, but you let me.
That's
typically-
ridiculous.
But then
Oh,
what?
they can
But
upcharge
then what? Then you just
afterwards.
can't work with a catering company again? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
what if I say go fuck yourself? Here's the original price. Like, you take the food back?
they're sick.
Yeah, they're sick. Now you're mad at me?
Yeah. You're gonna leave a bad review on a customer? Go
Go to
ahead.
hell. I got over on you, stupid.
Bro, I went to a venue one time. They asked me like, yo, what's the budget for your wedding? I said, you can keep. Mind you, I didn't know any of the prices. If you can keep the whole thing around 10K, that'd be great. She laughed at my ass, bro. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I could never imagine spending that much on a wedding. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. All right, next. Gold-plated toilet paper.
Where's this from? Where'd you buy this?
It's on Google. It's online. You can buy it online.
It's real gold plated. Wow.
Allegedly.
I feel like it'd be helpful to know the source. Like what type of company, what type of website it's selling.
And we're just talking about like one roll.
One roll.
Say 15K.
Now I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if they've had a single sale, but you can buy it.
You just found some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of gold plating. It's a lot of roll.
It's heavy.
2-ply. I'm gonna say standard 2-ply. We're going 20K.
8K.
It is 1.37.
Right, hey, go to hell. Go to hell.
Look it up right now. It's gonna be the first result.
$1.37 million.
I assumed it was like bullshit, tiny little thing gold like they put on food. So I
Yeah.
figured it wouldn't be that crazy.
No, it's a whole roll of gold.
How many pounds
To
of
wipe
gold
your
is that?
ass.
Of like 24 karat.
That's heavy as
Something
shit.
like that, yeah. Might be
That's
5. I don't
That's
know.
got to be a fake listing for money laundering.
100%.
All right, next. Median home price
I think it's like 400.
In the country or in one state?
in the country.
Say $437,000.
Yeah, I think it's like
That's a
4.
good guess.
I'm gonna go 457.
458.
Okay.
This is very complicated. You good job.
It is 400K.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Right on the dot. Right on the dot. There
Makes
you
sense.
go.
Yeah.
All right, next. Most expensive Labubu soap.
Man, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, little boo-boos. What the hell,
Is this
man?
a picture of it?
Yeah.
So it's like an art installation thing. Is that actually Labubu? They made a high art Labubu and they put it in the museum?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know. I just looked up this morning. What's the most expensive?
I'm
Labubu
gonna
soap.
go 80K.
$80,000 for a fucking doll?
That's high art, bro.
Money laundering again. I'm gonna say 50,000.
Welcome everybody back. And most importantly, in non-Wemby minutes, if Wemby's not even on the court, the Spurs don't really have a second guy. And I've mentioned this throughout the playoffs as a concern for the Spurs, just not having another kind of big forward wing type that can actually physically match up with a guy like Cat. There's just a glaring weakness in terms of the roster. And then when I look beyond just the top two guys, I think I just have more confidence in guys for the Knicks putting the ball on the floor and attacking closeouts and making shots in general. Not that the Spurs are really lacking in that department, but I just have a lack of faith down the roster in certain areas. The Fox is a huge concern for me and a red flag of just him being able to deliver what he needs to in this series. Castle and Harper, really young Harper, I'm not really worried about. It's more just the confidence in their perimeter jump shots. Like, I expect those guys to kind of get theirs inside the arc. Are they going to be draining shots from behind the arc the way they were during the second half of the regular season? And Bridges and OG have just been here before, and I trust those guys to get to their shots and attack closeouts. And there's just an overall faith that I have and confidence in this Knicks offense, and it's glaring. And then, again, when I look at the stars for the Spurs, it's a big disparity. Again, Fox, it's just, is he going to play the way he needs to? Is he going to make shots? That's a big concern. But when I look at Wemby, I really like the defense that they can throw at Wemby in this matchup with Cat and Mitchell Robinson, and that's a big-time component in me just favoring the Knicks offense more. I think that the Knicks can disrupt the Spurs' #1 star a little bit better than the Spurs can. Although Castle did a good job in the first 3 quarters, I still just have a level of faith that Jalen Brunson is always going to get his and deliver in the game's big moments. So I said that was kind of my big takeaway immediately in our instant reaction after game one, but I do feel the same way, man. I just think the Knicks offense is better. They can exploit the Spurs defense better than anybody else in the playoff field, and I expect that to be the reason why the Knicks get this thing done and hoist the trophy.
I feel like the through line for everything that you said there is that the Knicks offense just felt more mature in game one. And Brunson is a big part of that because he is far and away the most comfortable offensive player, especially when you get into the crunch time situations. But just generally, the stars for the Knicks looked more comfortable offensively than the stars for the Spurs did. They were much better. The shot making top to bottom for the Knicks was better. They protected the ball better, and they just had a slightly more sound approach to team offense. Like the Spurs, despite being a young team, the second youngest finalist in NBA history, they have not played like it. They have just been a dominant elite team end to end this year, but they have had like little moments, flashes of immaturity, if it's sometimes Castle with the turnover stuff throughout these playoffs. And in game one, I really thought it was Wemby more than anything else. I just thought that Wemby had a really bad offensive approach. I also thought that the Knicks did a really good job on him defensively, and that's one of my takeaways, that this might be a more challenging matchup for Wemby than I expected, and I give a lot of credit to Karl Anthony Towns for that, because he is just fully locked in on both ends, and what he's done this entire postseason is so impressive. We've talked about it a lot, but we are really getting the most out of the unique talent that Karl Anthony Towns is, more so than we ever have before in his career, especially in the playoffs, because he's had great regular seasons, but he has been somebody whose flaws have been problematic in the playoffs in years past, and because of that, even as a previous Cat defender and Cat believer, like coming into these playoffs, I was low on Cat, and I was worried about the defense, and I was worried about the massive contract just in terms of like this team build and what could they achieve built around him and Brunson, and I worried about some of the consistency offensively, and he has been their most consistently awesome guy in the playoffs. We look at Brunson as the guy for this team, but in this postseason, I think there's a good argument that Cat has been the better player. He's definitely been the more consistent player, so efficient, really good playmaking, better defense than I would have expected, and especially in game one, just the job that he did on Wemby physically was really impressive. So I do think there are absolutely adjustments for the Spurs to make. I think they have to get Wemby more off-screen looks. I think they have to find more ways to involve Brunson in the action, and like there are some things that they can change. Also, Wemby can just play better and play more under control, and he can be better as a shot maker. He can do a lot of stuff better, and I think he will, but Cat did his job defensively. Mitchell Robinson did his job defensively in his minutes, and Cat has just done his job on both sides of the ball, and he was the best player in game one overall, but the best player in the fourth quarter was clearly Jalen Brunson, and that's probably my single biggest takeaway. Beyond just the overall offensive maturity of the Knicks in contrast to the Spurs, specifically, New York has a big clutch advantage in this matchup, and if all these games are close, I think that's going to favor the Knicks because they have by far the best player in that environment. Like Jalen Brunson is probably the best clutch player in the NBA at this point. I think with what he's done 4 straight postseasons in the clutch, and by the way, he's been an elite clutch player in the regular season too, but this year in the playoffs, he's averaging 9.5 fourth quarter points per game on 72% true shooting. In his Knicks playoff career though, that's 4 years, he's at 8.8 clutch points per game on better than 62% true shooting. Like every single year, he is one of the very best, if not the best clutch player in the NBA, and the Knicks are an elite clutch team, and that's been kind of their superpower the entire year. It's like if you keep it close, if you get down to winning time, Jalen Brunson is going to generate good shot after good shot in a way that it's going to be difficult for the other team to keep up with. The Knicks have a plus 20 clutch net rating over this season. They were amazing there in the regular season. They've been good in the playoffs too. The Spurs in the playoffs are now 2-5 in clutch games with a 96.8 clutch offensive rating. That's a small sample size, but it did feel like the direction was so clear for the Knicks. It's like we are putting the ball in Brunson's hands every single possession. We are going to try to get him a switch that he likes, and he is such a special one-on-one scorer that either he's going to get a good shot or his incredible shot making will just come through, or we put them in a position where now, okay, they have to run a double at him, they have to blitz, and now we're playing with an advantage offensively.
They didn't do
you
a
look
lot
at the
of that.
Spurs, and it's like Wemby just was not getting the good stuff.
They didn't do a lot of that in game one. I mean, I was going to ask you specifically on Brunson. Do you think we see that more in the rest of this series, them outright sending doubles in the clutch? Just because I don't think that's... I don't know, man. I don't like him really one-on-one against really anybody. I think that's advantage Brunson, man. He's just so damn crafty and so shifty and can just, like Castle, if he's getting him to bite on a head fake, man, and then just shake him momentarily to get to that pull-up. Champagnie, I like Champagnie, and these are good defenders. It's just Brunson's so damn good. Champagnie I really like. He's just, like, a little slow. Like, I think Brunson can kind of freeze him enough to kind of get to his looks. Like, I don't know, man. I think if he comes out 3 of 3, 3 of 4, 4 of 5, blistering in the fourth, like, I don't know. Like, I know that there's a lot of talent with this Knicks offense, and that's what makes it really, really problematic. But I don't know if I love Brunson living in single coverage in the game's biggest moments.
I just think the Knicks supporting cast offensively is too good. I think doubling him is going to lead to, instead of like reasonably well contested mid-range twos and floaters and the stuff that Brunson is incredible at, I would still take like forcing him to individually beat Vassell and Champagnie with those shots over and over again, than just allowing like wide open threes for OG or Mikal flashes to the nail and he gets a super open little short mid-range look, like, because those guys have just been so elite. We did see them on a couple possessions late put 2 on Brunson, but you're right, for the most part they conceded the switches. I think it's the right strategy though, because like that is a strength of this Spurs defense beyond the fact that they have Victor Wembanyama. It is the switchability of their perimeter players and the fact that Vassell and Champagnie, they can hold their own in most matchups. And by the way, I thought Champagnie forced Brunson into some tough shots, but he made some tough shots. And overall, like, it's pretty remarkable if you just look at the matchups from game one, because Castle was phenomenal on Brunson, and Wemby did a really good job of deterring Brunson, and Harper guarded him well on certain possessions, and Fox actually guarded him well on certain possessions. It was specifically when he could get into 3 matchups that he did almost all of his work in this game. When Brunson was defended by Vassell, Champagnie, or Carter Bryant, he had 25 points on 11 of 17 from the field. That means outside of those matchups, he had 5 total points on 1 of 14 shooting. So it's tough because, like, it's either you concede those switches or you do have to put 2 on the ball. I think they have to trust Vassell and Champagnie to defend better. Now, I think you can give them more help, but the outright doubling, the outright blitzing, that really scares me. Carter Bryant, ironically, was Brunson's primary defender for a stretch when Castle was out, and Brunson just fried him. So he's kind of a different story. But it's tough, man. He's a great offensive player. Like, he's going to put you in tough positions. I would rather not concede wide open threes to his teammates, though.
Yeah, but I wonder if the Spurs should put in the clutch. Now, I mean, Mike Brown could call a counter to this, and he could just run Shamet or Deuce or Clarkson and completely negate this. But if Hart's out there in the clutch, maybe you just go Wemby back on Cat straight up, and then you have the wing defenders try to help off in the gap and concede the look to Hart, right? Because Hart sometimes can just cash wide open, catch and shoot threes, like you've seen him get hot. And I mean, like, that's a wide open look to an NBA player, so that's obviously a concession. You're giving him an open three-pointer. But also sometimes Hart will reset the offense and, like, not be confident in his shot and sometimes dribble that back out. So I wonder, you put Wemby back on Cat on the block, and then whoever the perimeter defender on Josh Hart is, maybe you have him help in the gap and just help off aggressively a little bit more in the clutch, just as a, I don't know, another look. Like, I do wonder if the Spurs are going to be getting to some desperate spots with what Brunson's doing. But,
I mean, look, he was amazing in the fourth. At the end of the day, he shot 12 of 31.
yeah,
and
but, like,
for the
he was
most
still
part,
getting
the
to
Spurs
those.
offense has to be better. Yeah.
He was still getting to those good, tough looks. I mean, I think the big thing is, I'm just trying to throw out ideas for the Spurs that maybe they could employ. I think
I
the
feel like
best
the key
strategy,
word, though, I mean, you said tough, right? And Brunson can live off of that stuff, but I still think it's preferable forcing him to take 31 mostly tough shots, barely really getting his teammates involved as opposed to just opening the floodgates of what happens when you're putting 2 on the ball all the time. Which I don't think
I'm
they
not saying
need
that's
to
the only
do.
strategy. I'm just saying you could employ that in stretches to throw him a different coverage, or in the fourth if he's frying you one-on-one. That's a different look. I'm not saying you do this every single possession. Brunson's obviously going to eat off that, and they're going to create a high shot quality. I'm saying do it 2 or 3 possessions, break it out in spots in the fourth quarter. I think the ideal scenario for most of the fourth quarter, if you can, is to avoid conceding any switches with these other defenders, because Steph Castle was obviously the best Brunson defender. I also think the other little thing, and I said this last night, in the clutch in those moments, literally just take away Brunson's left hand, man. I don't care if he's having to fade over. If he's having to fade over his right shoulder and spin and hit shots like that, that's a really tough look for a lefty, man. If you're letting him spin over his other shoulder or get to that left, like, easy little scoop layup, I think that's going to be vitally important. So I'm monitoring that. It's just Brunson's such a good, difficult shot maker, man. And I mean, we sing his praises all playoffs long. Like, the guy is averaging damn near, he might be at 30 points per game over his Knicks playoff career flat at like 57% true shooting still. He's either at 29 or 30 straight up. He's as consistent as they come. He's one of the best difficult shot makers in basketball. And you're just going to have to make him work. But yeah, it's easier said than done, man. I think the Spurs might have to just try to switch stuff up and throw some muddied looks at him and just, like, really play quickly. But I still feel like in the game's biggest moments, there is nobody that I trust more on the floor, man.
I absolutely agree with that. I just think I wouldn't be hitting the panic button after game 1. I would mostly be saying we need Champagnie and Vassell to defend better. It is what he does, but Logan, I mean, the Spurs scored 95 points, right? It's not like it was a defensive failure.
It wasn't.
My biggest takeaway is the Knicks have the clutch advantage.
Look, dude, Vassell and Champagnie might be good defenders. They're not good Brunson defenders. Like, Brunson can just – they're not twitchy enough to really stay with him the way a guy like Castle can. That's the
100%.
difference.
Well, Castle has to do everything he can to stay in that matchup, right? He needs to fight like hell to get over screens, but ultimately, like, they're going to have to concede some of these switches. And if the decision is, do we let this guy defend one-on-one with some help, or do we outright double? Like, I'm choosing the former, and I'm saying, okay, yes, Brunson is a great tough shot maker, but I would rather force him to live off of that than let him get his teammates going with a bunch of really high quality shots. Now, the key is what you mentioned. If Josh Hart is on the floor, I think whether it's Wemby in that matchup or anybody else, you're ignoring him. And you're saying, all right, we're going to force you to make a play with this 4-on-3, and we're not paying attention to you until you are, like, at the rim. We will allow you to shoot from anywhere else on the floor, and maybe that allows them to actually rotate out of some of these doubles, but then, again, they can go away from Josh Hart, who was big in game 1, but I do still worry about. I mean, the Knicks are just the better clutch offense. That's what I'm saying. It's my biggest takeaway, but also I think some of these guys can defend a little better.
And I think the Spurs offense has avenues to getting a lot easier offense. I think one of the things that you mentioned earlier, Wemby coming off of screens, you mentioned that in our preview. They did a lot of that during the regular season, and I think they're going to need to do a lot of that to open up some opportunities for him near the rim, which is probably number one, first and foremost for this offense. Number 2, we talked about on the last episode, not being afraid to go away from De'Aaron Fox, I think should be a key. But specifically because Castle and Harper are just more imposing athletic downhill guards that I think can exploit the Knicks' defensive weak points a little bit better than Fox. And the only reason I say that isn't because Fox doesn't have these athletic traits that he can weaponize. He just doesn't ever get fully downhill anymore the way that Harper and Castle are. They're just better at getting all the way to the rim. And I think the Knicks are going to have weak points that they can go at consistently, right? If it's just attacking Jalen Brunson at his chest straight up, easy, food. If it's going at Landry Shamet straight at his chest, the way Castle was in game 1, easy, food. And there's at least smaller defenders that theoretically they could attack. These guys are feistier, but McBride and Alvarado are both smaller guards where they should at least be able to go over the top of those guys. And then I think getting Cat involved in more high pick-and-roll action could lead to the Spurs for some good offense. I thought he did a pretty good job defensively in Game 1. That has been more of a problem throughout these playoffs. And I would just prefer to involve him in the action more, where you're either leaving him in no man's land and he's conceding that easy little pull-up jumper because he's taking away the Wemby role, which I think is probably what he's going to do all series long. I actually don't
Yeah.
really expect him to blitz out of the pick and roll like he was doing earlier in these series whatsoever. But I just think straight up involving him and Rob in the action and getting those concessions, those easy little pull-up jumpers. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the Spurs offense was the biggest problem, but I do think there are some avenues for them to get easier offense. You know, the
Yeah.
shooting ran cold in the second half. I think that was the biggest thing for the Spurs,
For sure.
completely falling apart late, along with Wemby and Fox disappearing. But that was a big deal, too. And that's a big part of the Spurs offense. So it could come and go just with the shooting, but I do think there are some tangible things that the Spurs offense can attack on this Knicks defense to get them more consistent, easy offense.
Absolutely. It's just a scary spot to be in when you're like, okay, if we get into the last 5 minutes and this game is really close, like, they know what they're going to do. They know their bread and butter stuff. And Wemby didn't have any of that in game one. De'Aaron Fox certainly did. Dylan Harper probably would because he's the GOAT, but Mitch wouldn't play him. So that's what the Spurs have to figure out. And I don't know, like, I do think there's a dynamic here where if you were going to say, okay, pick a team to win in blowout fashion, I think the Spurs are maybe a little bit more likely to be able to pull that off because if they have a really dominant defensive transition performance, like just athletically, they can leverage so many strengths there that maybe they can open it up a little bit easier. But when you get into the close ones, it's going to be tough, and I think we're going to see a lot of close ones. So, like, for me, in terms of just seeing that realized, I feel like that might be the most significant dynamic that we saw play out in Game 1. And it's not a surprise, because this is what Jalen Brunson does, but I guess in contrast to seeing how immature the Spurs' clutch offense looked, and that is kind of a pattern of these playoffs so far, that was concerning as somebody who picked the Spurs at 7.
Yeah, and I mean, what a just resilient, like, obviously this is one of the most impressive playoff runs in NBA history. That's not hyperbole. We do get hyperbolic on this show sometimes. It's just
They
not.
won 12 straight.
The Knicks have been operating like that. The fashion that they've done is just amazing to me, too. The fact that Game 1 against Cleveland, they could have just folded up and been like, you know what, we don't need this game. We think we're better than Cleveland. We're just going to pack it up, fold it up, come back, get them in 5. They erased a 22-point deficit in the third quarter of this game. In Game 1, they erased a 14-point deficit. Like, you just can't pack the Knicks up, man. They got so much heart, dude.
They have insane team of destiny energy right now.
They do.
Like, the Pacers had it last year, but I think the Knicks
feels
are a better
different.
basketball team than the Pacers. Yeah, it feels incredible. I mean, obviously they have all this like wild hype and fan base stuff behind them that makes it feel even bigger, but they're just so legit. And I guess that's a takeaway from this game. Like, even as the biggest Knicks doubter throughout the regular season and a skeptic and a critic, and I was super wrong about this team. Like, coming into this series, yes, I picked them to lose, but in 7. And I don't know that anybody was still really doubting that the Knicks are the truth. Like, I get it. The East was a light path. It's obviously going up a level facing the Spurs team, but they did obliterate the East, and this is a matchup they played really well in the regular season, and they've just been so impressive throughout these playoffs, but they still make a total statement in Game 1, and I do think their defense continues to overachieve my expectations. Like, OG is phenomenal. They're super connected. Cat, really good defensively in Game 1, and they just handle business so consistently. Like, it really feels like they've been here before, even though they haven't. They just have that way about them, that self-assuredness and that execution, and they're incredible.
Dude.
Like, they can absolutely win this series.
You know, Knicks fans aren't going to like hearing this. You know who kicked all this into motion, man?
Mike Brown,
Trae Young, dude.
what are you saying? Because he lit a fire under the city?
No, because he wiped Julius Randle's bum ass, and the Knicks said, yo, we have got to get better. We have got to get a better team.
Took them a little long after that to move off from Randle. I don't think any Knicks fan is going to accept any level of credit for Trae Young, but it's incredible how good the Cat trade looks now. Like, that's been such a back and forth thing with me, how I feel about the Cat trade. I liked it, and then I didn't like it, and now how could you not be liking it again? The dude is balling out.
Cat's a top 30 player on the planet, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Should have had him there. I mean, it's just so impressive what he's done in these playoffs. Like, every swing factor in his game. Every concern that I had, like, he has alleviated, he has overcome. He's just playing so efficiently, so in control. Exactly. That's the big thing.
He's composed. He's not willy-nilly whiling, driving to the paint, all, looking like an inflatable tube, man. Like,
I mean, it's like the lowest offensive volume, scoring volume of his playoff career, but he's very involved with the passing. He's crazy efficient. The turnovers, I mean, some of them are like just because he has more passing responsibility, but he's cut down on the offensive fouls. He still fouls too much defensively. That's probably the one concern that I have. Like, what if Cat picks up 3 dumb first half fouls? That feels like a distinct possibility. But overall, I just don't know what else you want to see out of the guy. It's a wonderful redemption story that we're getting from this guy who has been very criticized throughout his career, sometimes fairly, sometimes unfairly, but there's nothing to criticize right now. However, Logan, there...
Check this out. We just redid the whole thing.
Tremendous.
Isn't it great?
Tremendous.
On the entire team. In fact, you watched the playoff games for the Lakers, and yeah, the things that stuck out to you was like, look how good Luke Kennard's playing. Look at Rui's 3. It's like Marcus Smart is wrecking games with his defense, with his ball pressure, and just the veteran presence he brings offensively. Are there times he has the most dumbass turnover you've ever seen in your life, or the most dumbass shot you've ever seen in your life? Absolutely, he has those. But I do think his ability to defend the point of attack, his ability to just wreak havoc defensively, and the tools that he does possess to like run an offense is very valuable. So I think he's a super impactful player. 2 years, 20 million, 10 million a year, that feels about right to me. I don't know if other teams out there are going to throw more at him than that. It's just a really nice fit. Am I kind of undervaluing some of these contracts? I thought about it, then you got to think a little bit more. You're like, okay, well, what team's out there like going to throw? Who's going to throw a full 14 million on Marcus Smart? And if I'm Marcus Smart and every team's offering me 10 million a year, I like this Lakers situation probably the most because we'll look at this later. I'm probably starting. So as you can tell for Los Angeles, I basically have them bringing most of their free agents back. Now, there's some guys missing here. Yeah, we're going to get to that here in a second. But for the Lakers, there's just not a lot of free agents out there, right? So I like the idea of bringing some of our guys back. We're going to use trades, spoiler alert, and maybe our 25th pick to address some of the areas of need that we do have. And I think we got a great pathway to build a legitimately good team. The Lakers have the 25th pick in the draft, assuming they do not trade it. In the scenarios we have today, they do not trade it, spoiler alert. So they're going to pick somebody at 25. I don't want to say this is a super high pressure pick at 25. You miss something guys at 25, even if the process is good. But there's ways for them to draft a contributing player. Henry Vesar out of UNC. I really like him with this Lakers group. You've seen him talk to him a million times, but it does make sense. He's 7 foot with a 7'2" wingspan. Now, I will say this. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Vesar gets drafted before this, because I'm high on him as just a skilled 7-footer who can legitimately shoot the 3. If you want to count Cam Boozer is the best big man shooter in the draft. But if you don't want to count Cam Boozer, Henry Vesar is the best big man shooter in the draft. The problem is he's kind of this weird like tweener. He's not going to be a strong defender, but the feel and the 3-point shooting and the touch, it's like he could play next to a center. So I do like that for him. Luka hasn't had a ton of like legit pick and pop guys that he can play alongside with as bigs in his career. He had KP obviously, but outside of that, and Christian Wood, that's a whole different thing entirely. I would like Vesar here. Now for drafts in this exercise, what I'm thinking is I'm just looking at like the consensus big board, and if I think a player is around that range, I feel comfortable projecting it. Because like I said, I think if I were in charge of teams, Vaysar might go a little bit higher than this, but I don't know. He's right around that 30 range, so fuck it. But I absolutely think the Lakers should consider any of these wings that might be available around here, like Daniel Swain out of Texas, the self-creation upside as a wing with good touch indicators, good passing feel. 3-point shooting's a question mark, right? The turnovers are a bit of a question mark, but there is like real, legitimate high upside here for Swain to potentially maybe even turn into a long-term third option. Because in our scenario, LeBron's on a different team. You are going to have to replace that at some point. Like, I think in the interim, Marcus Smart can kind of fill that need a little bit as just a third, a tertiary ball handler and stuff like that. It's not the best, but when you have two incredible ball handlers like Luka and Reeves, you can kind of live with the results. Swain's somebody who's an upside play that's like, over time, he could just slot in as our starting three, Luka, Reeves, Swain, and that's just like a fantastic offensive trio. I do think you'd have to consider Allen Graves as well. Stat sheet FC, stand up, stat sheet nerd. But Graves just kind of checks all the boxes of this very versatile, do-it-all, dirty work wing. These guys are incredibly valuable in the NBA. There's some detractors here who don't know if this guy's ever actually going to be a good NBA player because there is some legitimate athleticism questions and whether or not the offense is ever going to be even good enough, really. I do look at it as like, could he be for you like Vando? Maybe not as like great defensively, but Vando, who isn't just like genuinely one of the worst piece of shit offensive players you've ever seen in your life. Like that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Jeremy Vando. And God bless him. I don't mean any offense by that. But I would like this on a team that's so offensive minded to maybe take a look at a guy like Allen Graves. I think a lot of people think that they're just going to draft big no matter what. We do have them getting it big in this scenario that we're playing out today. So Graves is somebody they should consider. I think Okori is somebody they should consider. Now, you might look at this and be like, oh, but if he's at 25, I'm way higher on him than that. It's possible he drops to 25. I'm not entirely sure. There are teams that are lottery teams that are working him out, so I doubt it. But I'd be interested in it. He's not going to start for you, obviously. But guard depth is still important. And I don't know if he becomes everything people think he can because of his ability to just relentlessly attack the rim, his ability to get to the free throw line, then it's entirely possible that this is somebody that could make Austin Reeves expendable down the line. There's value to be had there. Joshua Jefferson, I like the idea of this just because, okay, we're just going to lean into playmaking. Like, that's just it. Every player on our team is going to be a very good playmaker. At 6'9", Joshua Jefferson is an elite playmaker for his size. I think this could lead to some like legitimately interesting lineup configurations for you. And kind of similarly, like lean on Zuby, lean on that playmaking. Zuby's a good playmaker for his size, 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan. Gives you like wing skills defensively a little bit. And rebounds, I mean, was just a fantastic player for St. John's this year. The only problem with him, he's 6'7". The shooting isn't strong enough to be really confident that he's going to shoot in any capacity in the NBA. And with his size, like not the wing size, right? Not the center size. He becomes a real legitimate tweener with potential here where he's just kind of one of those awkward guys. But he's somebody who I think could make sense for the Lakers. Now, in this scenario, I do have them taking Vaysar. I really like that for them. It makes a lot of sense. It makes all the sense in the world.